dive into here
Well,
now,
thanks
guys.
for waiting. Sorry it was taking so long.
Oh, it's all good. I had tons of, I wanted to
always
cover
around the same time.
the Philippe Champagne stuff anyway. So now we're getting to Chrystia Freeland on CNN representing Canada.
Holy.
So yeah, Canada's
well, she's better
Freeland.
than Jagmeet Singh.
Yeah, but arguably, like, anybody would be better than Jagmeet Singh. Like, I'd be better than Jagmeet Singh. Like, anybody would be better than Jagmeet Singh. Anybody.
That's true.
Anyone's unqualified. Like, yet.
I'm just saying she's like a more, that makes sense for her to go speak for Canada, you know?
Does it?
Warning President Trump of immediate retaliation to Trump's executive order late yesterday. That order slapped a 25% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum.
Tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum would be entirely unjustified. If it comes to that, our response, of course, will be firm and clear.
Keep in mind, the United States buys more steel and aluminum from Canada than anywhere else in the world. A quarter of all U.S.
What's my double standard? I'm saying it's bad for the liberals, and I'm saying that I hope that they also will not continue to do that further. I'm literally trying to say, can we hold a consistent standard going forward? That he's not going to do what Trudeau has been doing. Because it seems like everybody just sees, oh, well, the last guy did it, so I might as well do it too, right?
I don't get that at all. And I feel like you don't watch Pierre enough to actually, like, understand. I feel like you just kind of, like, glance over everything he does. And the thing is,
how I'm basing it on his saying he's going to use the notwithstanding clause. That's a breach of another norm. He's willing to push the boundary even further, right?
Okay, but like at the same time, I'm just saying that I guess to me, there's a difference between a government that seems to be working against Canada's best interest and a government that seems to actually put Canada's best interest first.
I agree. I've said I would support Pierre over Trudeau if I had an option between those two. I've already said that. I'm not disagreeing.
But now you're
with
saying
you
he
there.
needs to disavow Trump, otherwise he's not going to get the Senate
What?
vote,
No, I didn't say that. What are you talking about?
That's what you
No,
said
I
earlier.
didn't say that.
You
I
said
said it
he
would
had
be
to-
good. I would enjoy if he did that. I think he should stand on the idea of sticking up for democracy and not being like Trudeau and like Trump and just pushing past all the red tape. That's there for a reason, right?
But the notwithstanding clause is also there for a reason. Trudeau reworked the system. That is way worse than just using a tool that was put in place for a reason.
I don't even know, like, where did I say that it's okay that the liberals did it? When have I ever said that?
I know you're not. You're trying to be devil's advocate here, but I'm just saying it's not
I'm just
the same
reading
thing.
the chat because they're saying it's okay when the liberals do it. Harper is clearly corrupt and these liberals are not. Come on, Saul. What? Like, how are you getting that from what I'm saying? I'm literally saying that it's bad when Harper did it. It's bad when Trudeau does it. That's the reason I don't like Trudeau is because he pushes past this red tape. He does that.
We shouldn't have a double standard. I get that. But I guess the way I look at it with Trudeau is that he redesigned the red tape. Pierre wants to go hit the emergent poll. You know, he wants to go hit the big red button or one of them. You know what I mean? So to me, that button was built and put in place for a reason. At the same time, it's not unconstitutional. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, it's not. No, I didn't say it was.
However,
I just said it's a breach of another norm.
Trudeau has done,
it's not unconstitutional to prorogue either, though.
No, the prorogation isn't, but it's everything else but the prorogation. Prorogation on its own wouldn't be a problem. It's the fact that he's prorogated during a national crisis with his track record. That's the problem. It's like, this is why everyone's frustrated.
I agree.
You're preventing the
like
country
Trudeau.
from moving forward. You're preventing progress for how progressive
what we're arguing about even.
Well, I'm just arguing about it's not the same thing what Pierre Poilievre's advocating to do.
I just feel like we agree on. I don't understand what you're disagreeing with me on here.
I feel like you're trying to get me to apply the same standard to Pierre and to Trudeau and
no,
to
I'm not at all. I just said it would be good. I'm trying to say I would like if he would do something like that. That would honestly, I would probably vote for him over Carney. I would if he said something like that. If he was doing like this really hard pro-democracy, anti-breaching norms stance, I would vote for him over the liberals 100%.
Good afternoon, Danny. Yeah, anyway, let's just move forward. We're Chrystia Freeland on CNN, guys.
Come from Canada. And Trump's tariff, which again, he's already signed an executive order, is set to take effect on March 12th. Out front now, Chrystia Freeland. She was Canada's deputy prime minister and finance minister.
I am a liberal. I'm not denying being
liberal.
Oh my God. Just I feel like no one even, it's just arguing with things I didn't even say.
Okay, well,
Okay, I'll
yeah.
stop. I'll
Words
stop.
being
Let's
put in
just watch
Saul's
this.
mouth. Saul's getting, people. He's getting, JT is
I'm
Saul's
getting
scapegoat to
triggered.
try and look reasonable. But Saul, you're a liberal through and through. That's the thing, is you say it like it's a dirty word, Rob. Like that to me is part of the problem, man. Like you can't just be coming at people and be like, you're a dirty libtard. It's like what are you gonna accomplish, right? Like not you personally. I'm talking about in a generic blanket, right? Of like people, I see this all the time, and it's like even if you think that, it doesn't accomplish anything. You know what I mean? Doesn't accomplish anything. It's like, what's the point, right? Like what are you gonna get done besides blowing off some steam or blowing some smoke? What does it really accomplish? Anyways, Chrystia Freeland on CNN.
Executive order is set to take effect on March 12th. Out front now, Chrystia Freeland. She was Canada's Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister under Trudeau until she resigned in December, and she is now one of the front runners to replace him in this next election. So, Chrystia, I so much appreciate your time. When you hear that warning from Prime Minister Trudeau, who of course is on his way out, and then all of this has blown up, after.
Okay, now I'm getting one guide. All right. Well, it's not like, what do you mean? I don't think the libs are. You don't think the libs aren't dirty? No, I'm not. Like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about in general. Like when you're talking about your average people, you can't just call them a liberal because they're not conservative enough for you. You know what I mean? Like just because someone is considered a liberal doesn't mean that they support the Liberal Party, right? And I feel like we use the term liberal like it's some dirty word to throw at each other, like it's an insult, especially on the conservative side. And I feel like
I have
it's probably
a set
both,
of values.
kind of both, right? Like people on the left call us dirty Trumpers and whatever, like, or Trump tard. I heard someone call me a Trump tard, and I was like, what? Like I don't even feel like I'm that nice to Trump. You know what I mean? Like I'm feeling pretty fair with him.
It's
like,
not even illegal to prorogue. It's just a breach of norms. It's just bad to do that for the interest of your own party above the interest of the country, to prorogue parliament so you don't get no confidence voted. It's not a good thing to do that.
Yeah, you can't have democracy if you think one side should prevail and dominate, and then it's not democracy anymore. You kind of need these voices that disagree for democracy to work. The liberals have to exist. Their party has to exist even after their reign is over in order for democracy to function. Or parties like them have to exist, right? Otherwise, we just wind up in this, like what are we really doing, right? What are we accomplishing if we're not focusing on what brings us together instead of what divides us? Because if we just focus on what divides us, we're just going to be flapping and flying in a circle with one wing. You know what I mean? If we work together, you got two wings, you can move forward. And that's the idea, right? This is the only way we're ever going to be, progressing as a society. Only way it's
I just think
work.
that there's tons of conservatives I respect. There's tons of liberals I respect. I have a set of principles that I value, and that's what I base my vote on. It's whoever is meeting those things that I think are important. I think our economic success is important. I think democracy is important. I think not just cutting things blindly because we want to
sorry, I'm just gonna say, if you're not willing to work with people or not willing to work with everybody who's at the table, then unfortunately you're part of the problem, right? And I was talking more about not the Liberal Party, but liberals in, liberal supporters within our society, right? Like that's the only way we're people, everyday people is what I'm talking about, right? And I guess to me, when people say liberals or the liberals all need to go, and so, there is certain cases where you talk about the party, but in some cases you might just be referring to all people who disagree with me. And I'm not saying that specifically.
Well, the problem
Rob
is
doing
that
that all
it's
the time.
not like
I'm just
not
saying people on the right tend to do this a lot, and it doesn't accomplish anything.
Liberals do it too, though. They're really, really condescending. They can't. I completely agree with that. I'm just saying, I think the problem is that it's not like I'm a Liberal Party of Canada member. That they have all the same values as me. I think that party's supposed to encompass a wide range of values. You can have people with different opinions within the same party. They have agreements on enough things that they're in a party together, and they're writing legislation and getting stuff passed in the House of Commons together. And that's the point, right? Not everybody in the Conservative Party is 100% on the same side as Pierre with every single thing, right?
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? Is the liberals are at the end of their lifespan. Even I don't think new party leader is going to change anything. They would be breaking all historic norms to get another term, even with a new leader. It just doesn't happen. Usually we go conservative after this.
I've said that I don't think, even if I like Carney, I don't think he necessarily is going to win. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think that these polls really mean anything at this point. I'm not being super biased here. It's just kind of irritating for me because I feel like I go out of my way to like not say stuff that I think is like super biased, and then it's like you're a liberal through and through, you know. It's like, okay, like I didn't deny that, you know.
And that's what I'm talking about. Is that's, I guess, why I was giving that whole speech, is because of what Rob said that to Saul, right? It's like, you're a liberal through and through, whatever. Basically saying to me, it's like, you're saying I can't reason with you, right? It's like, well, to me, then you're part of the problem. Like, if you think you're too ridiculous, I can't work with you, then you're part of the problem, right? Like, that's
you
just
need
how
to be able
it
to
works.
respect people to work with them, right?
Yeah, and even if you don't respect them,
it's what
hard,
Genghis is
but-
saying. Respect is earned, party trust is earned.
No, I get
agree.
that.
I'm not
But at the
saying,
same time,
and I'm not even on here advocating you guys should all vote liberal, and this is why. Like, I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
voting for Trudeau.
Yeah,
No,
Justice
it's
is sad
the
that
thing.
Trudeau's
Like,
not running.
all
And
I'm
we should
saying
actually
is-
we should continue with the video because we're getting way too sidetracked here. But
Okay, I forgot what
she was candidate order is set to take effect on March
go.
12th. Out front now, Chrystia Freeland. She was Canada's deputy prime minister and finance minister under Trudeau until she resigned in December, and she is now one of the front runners to replace him in this next election. So, Chrystia, I so much appreciate your time. When you hear that warning from Prime Minister Trudeau, who of course is on his way out, and then all of this has blown up after that was announced, will it make President Trump think twice about these new tariffs that are in the executive order?
Well, it should. The Prime Minister is absolutely right. These tariffs are illegal, they are unjustified, and crucially, Aaron, they are
I agree with Trevor too. Vote on policy, not by party. I agree.
They're going to hurt the U.S. really badly. And we know that because it's not the first time this has happened. In 2018, the United States imposed tariffs of 25% on Canadian steel, 10% on Canadian aluminum. And in 2019, the U.S. dropped those tariffs, mostly because those tariffs hurt the U.S. and also because we did as the Prime Minister said we would do. We retaliated, dollar for dollar retaliation, and it hurt. You know, I think you guys sometimes think Canada, well, actually, I don't think Americans think about Canada all that often, which is fine with us. But what you should remember is we are actually your largest market. We are larger than China, Japan, the UK, and France combined. And that means we have economic leverage. Our country is really united behind this. We will use that leverage. And you guys are the people who invented the saying, the customer is always right.
So I do point out, when you're saying the last time around when those tariffs were imposed and the tit for tat, that was also in a Trump presidency. So it's an important analogy that you're drawing here. You posted a very direct warning. You're saying this here, but on social media yesterday, you spoke directly to Trump. Let me just play it.
I have a message today for President Trump, literally written.
For anyone who hasn't seen it.
I have a message today for President.
I can't play the music. Damn it. Sorry, guys. I gotta mute it. You can go watch this ad on our Twitter page if you want.
What does that trade blow look like if you're the next prime minister?
Dollar for dollar retaliation. Any tariff imposed on Canada, Canada will respond to, and our response is going to be smart and targeted. The tariffs the U.S. is threatening Canada with are across the board, and they're going to hurt you. Take aluminum. Aluminum is basically...
Those were war drums playing in the background of the ad there. Arthur, I'm sure Trump is listening intently to her. Yeah, I don't think Trump's listening to anybody at this point, except Elon.
Electricity in solid form. And in imposing a 25% tariff on Canadian aluminum, you're hurting yourselves. You're putting a 25% tax on electricity, and you actually need more electricity.
Are they calling, is Trump calling her freeloader? Is Trump actually calling her that? Or are you just like paraphrasing there, Hecker?
today in this AI race with China.
Oh, he's saying
our
Trump's
retaliation
calling
is
her
going to be a lot
freeloader.
more
Oh,
surgical
sorry. You
than
were
that.
asking if he actually did.
We are going to
thought you
go
were saying it the other way
after
around.
American stakeholders who matter to the White House. I
Oh, yeah,
have
thanks,
proposed a
Hurricane.
100% tariff on all Teslas. I am calling on all the countries that are
I appreciated
affected
you
by
backing me
this
up on the
tariff.
border
Yeah,
thing.
you know what? She should have started out with she needs to mention she's a proud feminist to truly get his attention. She's like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. Mr. President, I'm a proud feminist. And on this side of the continent, we I don't know, I can't do it anymore.
Good one.
To join us, and our retaliation will target specific Trump constituencies. Another group that we're going to go after is Wisconsin dairy farmers. We know how important they are for the president, and we're not going to let them sell their products in Canada anymore. But I also want to say to you, Aaron, we don't have to do this.
Yeah.
We have a balanced, mutually beneficial relationship with the United States. We think the best path is to continue with that relationship. I was Canada's lead negotiator the last time Trump was president, and we had a lot of fighting and a lot of insults. But at the end of the day, the tariffs were lifted by the United States. We got a trade agreement that Trump said was the best deal ever. And today, the president campaigned
He did say that.
He was
Unfortunately, he did. She's not wrong with that one. He did say it was the best deal ever. Now it's not the best deal ever anymore. So
now he says, "Who the heck made these deals?"
That's what I said. He might
It's
be
like the
losing a little
Ozzy
bit,
Osbourne
but-
thing where he's like, "Who's been in my fridge drinking my beer?"
What?
You ever see that? The Ozzy
No.
Osbourne thing where he's asked who's drinking his beer and he's the one who drank it.
Oh no.
go after China. He campaigned on saying China is an unfair participant in the global economy and has overcapacity in steel and aluminum. We think the president is right about that. We do not want to have a fight with you. We would prefer to be your partner, and we can be a great partner. But if you hit us, we're going to have to hit you back.
It's interesting when you talk about you were a lead negotiator. I mean, you know,
I feel like that right there,
It's
if
the
he
rules
sees
of a
that, it's just going to
domestic
make
dispute.
him. I just feel like Trump doesn't respond very well to like authoritative women. And I feel like this is like the worst person to put at the forefront of it all. Like, you want to piss him off? Put Freeland at the front of this fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's.
When this all started, you know, and you resigned, he lashed out. He called you totally toxic, not at all conducive to making deals. I'm sure you saw the post. She will not be missed.
Honestly, like, I can't. Most Canadians can't stand her. You know what I mean? Like, nobody likes Freeland. Nobody. She's like not a good negotiator, I feel like.
And of course, you could be coming back.
Her behavior was totally toxic and not at all. Her behavior was totally toxic and not at all conducive to making deals, which are good for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. She will not be missed.
Back as prime minister. Can I just ask you though, Chrystia, Elon Musk, you're choosing, obviously you talk about constituents core to the White House, and you mentioned that 100% tariff on Teslas that you would go ahead with if Trump imposes these tariffs. I mean, that's basically an acknowledgement that Elon Musk is I mean, he's really
100% tariff on Chinese EVs. 100% tariff on Teslas.
I think
We're going to increase
Tesla
the
tariffs. Tesla tariffs.
You might as well just give up on the electric car thing if we're going to do that.
Yeah, well, you want to save the climate though. Like, how, you know, we're just gonna pay.
This is why I think it's stupid. You don't have to hate Teslas because you hate Elon. Like, I don't know.
Well, you know, you got to get those Tesla tariffs to hit him with the 60,000 Tesla cars he sells out of like the multi-million he sells globally. You know, he's really gonna want those 60,000.
I think there's a lot of Teslas in Canada. I see they're like everywhere.
Only 60,000 was sold in 2023. Comparatively,
out of how many cars were sold in 2023?
Millions. It was millions. It was like 1 point something million or something, and it was 600 and something thousand alone.
1.664 million units, and it was 60,000. You said?
Yeah, to Canada alone. It's like, what are these Tesla tariffs gonna do but piss off Canadians? You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, just make electric vehicles
Tesla.
super expensive.
I don't think the tariffs are going to stop you, but I feel like you're going to get not as nice of a Tesla, and you're going to be mad about it probably. I don't know. I just see all those charging stations. Well, last time I drove through Coquitlam, and I was just like, what the hell happened here? like over by like where like the theater is and stuff. And I'm just like, why is it just like charging station after charging station? There's like just rows of cars charging, all dudes just doing skip the dishes on their phones, probably. Like, it's just like, I was like, what is going on? This place is just so weird now to me.
It's literally just economic acknowledgement of that fact.
Yeah, look, you're American, and you guys will have the best judgments about your political system and who's influential and who isn't.
Yeah, Tesla's
we
not even
listen to you.
on
We listen-
the graph
I
for
thought
car
Jimmy,
ownership by make and brand in Canada.
I thought Jimmy
That's
had a
ownership, though.
Maserati.
I guess that's not.
I thought Jimmy had a
sales.
Maserati, guys.
No, he
To
got
your
picked up in a Maserati one time.
I thought it was his wife's.
reporting.
No,
And-
it was like a driver, I think.
What's it? You can just like order a nicer Uber. Like, I want someone with at least a Maserati.
I mean, sometimes they just
I
show
have to
up
be a
in
man
nice
of the
cars.
people. So
We will design our retaliation to target the people who we think are the most influential, the people who, if they are feeling pain from our retaliation, will say to the president, let's not do this anymore. That's the outcome that we want. And by the way,
oh, maybe you should just tell that to him, Freeland, and then this will all go away.
we think that's going
You
to
shouldn't do this anymore.
be the best outcome for the U.S. too.
Right? Of
As
course.
soon as she talks, like, you know what would be the best outcome for everybody?
She talks like she's talking to her kids.
Such a good job. Yeah, you did. You know, or like some dog or something.
So when you point out choose the government,
I think I'm too nice to my dog, though.
the American people elected Donald Trump, not Elon Musk, but they have them both now, at least the way that it is playing out thus far. Well, Chrystia Freeland, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate yours. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.